Imagine for a moment that somewhere out there in this infinite universe, another version of you exists. A version living in a parallel reality, quietly observing every decision you make, every path you choose. But this version isn't just a copy. It's you living in a different timeline, shaped by different circumstances, choices, and outcomes. Have you ever wondered, what if that version is trying to communicate with you? What if it's sending you subtle signals, a fleeting intuition, a sudden idea, or a strong gut feeling as a way to guide you, warn you, or share deep insights it has learned? It may sound like science fiction, but quantum physics opens up a truly mind-blowing possibility that the reality you're experiencing is just one of countless others coexisting at the same time. Every passing thought, every small action could lead you to a different branch, a new reality where another you is living an entirely different life. In those parallel realities, you might be a brilliant leader, a celebrated artist, or a being completely in tune with the universe, free from suffering and fear. But there could also be versions of you struggling with challenges you've never imagined. Despite the differences, all these selves are deeply and invisibly connected, bound together by something that transcends space and time. So what would happen if you became conscious of that connection? What if you could hear the whispers of a version of you who's already overcome the obstacles you're facing now? Or learn from a you who is fully expressing your highest potential, living a life of joy, fulfillment, and purpose? Connecting with your parallel selves isn't just a mental exercise in imagination. It could be a powerful tool for personal growth, a journey inward to unlock hidden wisdom. Think of it like accessing an invisible library, one that holds all the lessons, experiences, successes, and failures that every version of you has ever lived. Each self has something to offer you, a fresh perspective, a silent piece of advice, or a direction that could completely transform your life. And when you begin tuning your energy, attention, and intuition to receive messages from these alternate versions of yourself, you're not just shifting your current reality, you're awakening to an infinite field of energy where anything is possible. So how can you recognize those signs? A strange dream, a powerful intuition, a sense of déjà vu, or a seemingly random coincidence? Could these be subtle messages from a you in another reality? Today, we'll explore how to notice those signs, and more importantly, how to begin a magical dialogue with yourself, with the version of you who's been watching, waiting, and ready to guide you further than you've ever gone before. Today, you and I are about to embark on a profound and transformative journey, a journey where the understanding of parallel realities is not just a metaphysical concept, but a key that may unlock the door to a more abundant, conscious, and deeply aligned life with your soul's true purpose. The idea of parallel realities has long fascinated not only scientists but also spiritual thinkers. According to mystical traditions and metaphysical philosophy, the universe isn't a straight linear path. It's a vast multidimensional web of existence where countless versions of reality are unfolding simultaneously. Each dimension contains a different version of you, a being shaped by unique choices, emotions, and experiences. These realities are born from every thought you think, every vibration you emit, and every choice you make at any given moment. From a spiritual perspective, the universe acts as an energetic mirror, where the cosmic consciousness listens to your intentions, even the subtlest ones, and responds by generating new branches of reality. Each branch becomes a parallel timeline, where you are living a different story, walking a different path, embodying a different version of yourself. In some of these realities, you may have already achieved everything you've ever dreamed of: success, love, enlightenment. In others, you might be facing deeper challenges, pain, loss, or a sense of being lost. Wherever they are, each version of you is shaped by the frequency you emit, a reflection of your beliefs, emotions, and choices in every moment of your life. Alongside the spiritual perspective lies the sharp insight of modern quantum physics, where scientists are gradually discovering that reality isn't a fixed solid block, but rather a field of possibilities constantly fluctuating at the subatomic level. According to the principle of quantum superposition, a particle can exist in multiple states at once until it is observed. And reality, in many ways, behaves the same way. This opens up a bold yet inspiring perspective. All possibilities exist simultaneously, and it is your consciousness that determines which version of reality collapses into form. Every decision, every emotional frequency you align with, can act as a trigger shifting you from one reality branch to another, radically altering the course of your life. So what happens if you learn to tune your vibration, master your energy, and direct your awareness with intention? Could you, perhaps, choose again? Could you step into the life your soul has always dreamed of? The answer awaits if you're brave enough to continue this journey. A journey into parallel dimensions, not for curiosity alone, but to unlock your true self, awaken your soul, and meet the higher version of you who's been waiting, just on the other side of awareness. We often think of the idea of multiple versions of ourselves as something mystical, something that belongs in ancient philosophy books or sci-fi films. But when we look more closely, both spiritual mysticism and modern science are beginning to converge at a fascinating point. The idea that there are many parallel realities, and in each of them, a different version of you exists. This is no longer just a vague hypothesis. It's a resonant idea echoing from ancient esoteric teachings all the way to quantum equations. Each version of you represents an aspect of your unrealized potential. A version of yourself that made different choices, thought different thoughts, and lived a life aligned with a completely unique stream of possibilities. Though these alternate versions exist on different vibrational layers, separated by what some might call invisible frequency barriers, they are not isolated. In truth, they are deeply connected to you through consciousness, the creative source from which all beings arise. And if that's true, if these parallel selves are constantly observing, watching, and even trying to communicate with you, then the real question becomes, are you listening? These signals don't always arrive as clear voices or prophetic dreams. Sometimes they come softly as strange intuitions, uncanny coincidences, or most intriguingly, through the mysterious feeling of déjà vu. Have you ever felt a sudden, eerie sense that you've lived a moment before, even though you're certain it's the first time it's happening? The sights, the words, the emotions, all strangely familiar, almost hauntingly so, as if you were replaying something that has already happened, somewhere. This phenomenon is known as déjà vu, and while many dismiss it as a mere glitch in the brain, a temporary memory hiccup, what if there's more to it? What if déjà vu is actually a crack between dimensions, a moment when the veil between realities thins, and for a split second, you merge with a parallel version of yourself? Maybe that version of you has already lived that exact moment, and you just for a brief flicker in time tuned into its frequency, its vibration, its experience. Like two radio signals momentarily syncing in perfect harmony, your current reality and the parallel one intersect, creating a fleeting spiritual touchpoint. It's not just a sign that you're on the right path, it may also be a gentle whisper from your parallel self, nudging you, reminding you, guiding you toward a deeper, more significant choice. It's not a coincidence that sometimes life feels orchestrated. There are moments filled with strange alignments, events that defy logic, yet carry a profound sense of meaning, as if the universe itself is whispering something into your ear. These are called synchronicities, and perhaps they are the subtle language your parallel self is using to reach you. These so-called coincidences often don't feel random at all. They carry the sensation of being just in time, in just the right place, as if perfectly designed to capture your attention. Imagine this. You're on the edge of a major decision like changing your career, and suddenly you start noticing a recurring symbol, phrase, or image everywhere you go. On billboards, in passing conversations, online posts, or even your dreams. A logo, a name, a word that keeps showing up in uncanny ways. These may not be accidents. They could be a kind of cosmic code messages from another you, living in a parallel reality where that decision has already been made. Repetition is the language of spirit. It works as a gentle yet powerful reminder. Pay attention. This is the path you've been searching for. These synchronistic signs aren't mere chance. They are how parallel realities intertwine, crossing the invisible boundaries of space and time. And more importantly, they're here to remind you that you're not walking this path alone. Somewhere, another version of you has already walked it and is trying to light the way forward. Another form of communication comes from an even deeper place: dreams. While science often defines dreams as subconscious activity, many spiritual traditions view them as gateways, portals that connect us to alternate realities. Especially those dreams that feel incredibly vivid, so real that you wake up still carrying the sensation that you truly lived them. These may not just be products of the mind, but actual experiences from another version of you, in another dimension. Perhaps in that dream, you wandered through a strange yet familiar city, met someone unknown but somehow deeply familiar, or lived through an event that never occurred in your waking life. The realism is haunting, as if you had temporarily borrowed the body of yourself in another timeline, to witness something, to learn something, or to receive a message. The important thing isn't whether you believe this immediately, but whether you're willing to observe and listen. The universe doesn't shout at you, it whispers. Your parallel selves don't speak in words, but they leave clues, in symbols, in sensations, and in dreams. All you need is enough awareness to notice them, and enough courage to follow the feeling, because maybe what you've been searching for out there has already been answered by you in another reality. And now, that version of you is calling you back to the path of your soul. Have you ever woken up from a dream carrying a feeling that was strangely familiar? A different life, a different setting, yet somehow everything felt deeply connected to you in a way you couldn't explain. In those dreams, you may have accessed memories or experiences of yourself in a parallel reality, a different version of you, living an entirely different story. And if you've ever experienced a lucid dream, when you become aware that you're dreaming and even gain control within the dream, then you've already held a powerful key, a doorway to direct communication with your parallel selves. In that state of awareness, you are no longer just an observer. You are a traveler navigating dimensions, exploring alternate timelines, and discovering versions of you who made different choices, who lived other lives, and who carry valuable lessons you can bring back. The key is attention. Pay attention to the details in your dreams, the places, the faces, the emotions, the colors, the symbols. They may not be random fragments of the brain, but rather pieces of a message sent from a deeper layer of your consciousness, or from another you trying to guide you, warn you, or awaken something inside you. For example, if you keep dreaming of a life you've always longed for, with your ideal career, a loving relationship, and a deep sense of peace, but your waking life hasn't yet aligned with that vision, then perhaps that dream isn't just a fantasy. It could be a real reality, already existing in another dimension, and that means it's reachable. Your dream is reminding you that this life is possible. You simply need to tune your energy, adjust your choices, and align your beliefs to match that frequency. Beyond dreams, there's another subtle yet powerful sign of dimensional overlap. Those sudden feelings of being out of place, like you're not fully anchored in the time or space you're in. Maybe you're sitting in a familiar room, and suddenly it feels foreign, as if something has shifted. Or you carry the strange sensation that you were meant to be somewhere else entirely. These experiences can be disorienting, even unsettling, but from a spiritual perspective, they are signs that realities are intersecting. In that moment, your consciousness may have momentarily merged with another version of yourself. That fleeting disconnect? It's not a glitch, it's an invitation. A quiet reminder that reality is not singular and that you, if you choose to become aware, can begin mapping the invisible blueprint of your soul. Through awareness, through presence, through meditation and stillness. These signs become the guideposts, and you become the traveler between worlds. Have you ever found yourself in a place that feels deeply familiar? A room, an old street, or your favorite cafe, but suddenly something feels off? As if you're slightly out of sync with the reality around you. These subtle moments may actually be signs that you're experiencing a thin space between realities, where the boundary between your parallel selves begins to blur, and one version of you is trying to send a message across dimensions. The feeling may be fleeting, a brief sense of disconnection, a strange twist in your perception, but within it lies a whisper of unrealized possibilities. A gentle nudge that says, If you had chosen differently, if you had turned left instead of right, life might have taken another path entirely. One of the most powerful ways your parallel self communicates with you is through intuition. We've all felt at those moments when there's no logic, no evidence, but you just know. You know you should take that road. You know someone can't be trusted. You know a decision will change your life. And yet, you can't explain why. Maybe that's because in another reality, a version of you already made that choice, and now they're sending that energy back to you, like an echo from a path your soul still remembers. Intuition is not just a vague feeling. It's a wave signal from another frequency. It's the secret map your soul continues to carry, a quiet guide that transcends logic, leading you toward the life you're meant to create. Sometimes that intuition doesn't come in words. It arrives as an irresistible pull, a feeling that you must act, must change, or must pause. Even if you don't fully understand why, you still move. In that moment, you're syncing with yourself in another reality. There are also times when you notice yourself behaving differently, maybe a new habit, a strange new interest, or a subtle shift in how you speak, think, or feel. And you don't know where it came from, but it feels right, as if you've rediscovered a long-lost part of yourself. These sudden shifts aren't random. They may be signs that you're resonating with another version of you, someone who already lives with the habits, beliefs, and energy that you're beginning to embody now. Maybe that version has learned something powerful, walked through hard-earned lessons, and is now transmitting part of that wisdom to you. In every small behavior, choosing healthier food, starting a meditation practice, or feeling a sudden urge to create, you are absorbing a new frequency. You are integrating a higher version of yourself into this reality. And once you begin to recognize these signs, the powerful intuition, the strange sense of disconnection, the meaningful synchronicities, and the unexplained shifts in behavior, you are awakening. You are standing at the threshold of harmony with your parallel selves. And from there, the journey to reclaim your soul at its deepest level truly begins. Not to escape this reality, but to upgrade it, to merge it with the stronger, wiser, more complete version of you that's always been waiting, just beyond the veil. Once you begin to recognize the signs from your parallel selves, the natural next step in this journey through the multiverse is learning how to align your personal energy so the connection becomes clearer, stronger, and more powerful with each passing day. At its core, everything in the universe is energy, and energy never stands still. It vibrates at different frequencies. Every thought you think, every emotion you nurture, and every action you take emits a unique vibrational field, resonating with a version of reality that matches that frequency. When we talk about parallel realities, we're referring to vibrational states distinct but coexisting. For example, there is a version of you already living in abundance, peace, financial freedom, and inner joy. That version is vibrating at a higher frequency, attracting people, opportunities, and experiences that reflect that state of being. The good news? Your own frequency is not fixed. It can be raised and retuned through conscious practice and intentional choice. You don't need to become a perfect self to access higher realities. You simply need to align your vibration like an instrument being finely tuned to harmonize with the greater symphony of the universe. Some of the simplest, yet most powerful techniques for raising your personal frequency include gratitude practice. Each day, write down 3 things you're grateful for, no matter how small. This simple act shifts your energy field toward a reality of abundance, where you begin to see that lack is an illusion and that wholeness is always present. Forgiveness. Let go of old energies, anger, regret, blame, resentment. Forgiveness isn't just for others. It's the act of liberating yourself from the frequency that keeps you disconnected from your more complete and empowered self. Cultivating compassion and unconditional love. When you open your heart to love and understand people and the world around you without conditions, you align with the highest vibration in the universe, pure love. These simple daily practices, even if they take just a few minutes, begin to recalibrate your reality. You'll start to feel your higher self drawing closer, not as a distant concept, but as a living presence that begins to merge with your everyday life. And here's the most important thing to remember. Energy transformation is not a single moment. It is a journey. Elevating and sustaining your vibration requires consistency, intention, and trust. Every time you repeat a positive habit, you reinforce the bridge between you and the higher version of yourself. So make these techniques your daily rituals. Meditate, keep a vibration journal, listen to your intuition, nurture your soul the way you care for your body. Because when you maintain a high vibrational field, you're not just living better, subsing. You are choosing the reality your soul is ready to step into. To connect more deeply with your higher parallel self, it's not just about recognizing signs, it's about your ability to consciously shift your personal energy through intentional, everyday actions. These practices, though simple, when performed with clear intention and mindful presence, can become powerful bridges that lead you into the reality you desire. Activities like meditation, physical movement, conscious eating, and choosing positive words and thoughts are not just things you should do. They are subtle tools helping to clear your energetic field and fine-tune your vibrational frequency toward a higher reality. For instance, meditation doesn't only calm the mind, it helps release negative energy, softens the invisible barriers that block connection with your wiser, more awakened self. During meditation, you can visualize yourself in a peaceful space, breathing in stillness, feeling the presence of your ideal self already living in your desired reality. This feeling, when repeated, is not just imagination. It becomes an energetic imprint encoded into your vibration, drawing that version of life closer into your daily experience. Similarly, maintaining a diet rich in natural, whole, high-vibration foods like fresh vegetables, healing herbs, seeds, and whole grains does more than improve physical health. It purifies your energy system, making you more receptive to subtle vibrations from other dimensions. But remember, action without conscious intent is just a habit. Meditation or clean eating won't create lasting change unless you bring clear purpose to it. I am aligning my energy to harmonize with the higher version of myself, the one who lives in peace, prosperity, and presence. With that intention, your daily practices become sacred, and your reality begins to transform. Every daily habit you practice should be seen as a deliberate step, like placing a single brick on the bridge that connects your current reality to the radiant potential you are moving toward. Over time, this intentional repetition builds a vibrational field of behavior, lifting you into a higher plane of existence, one where your dreams no longer feel distant, but fully within reach. But no tool, whether it's meditation, mindful eating, or physical movement, can fully activate its power without continuous awareness. The most essential practice is to observe yourself, every fleeting thought, every rising emotion, every repeated behavior. With each action or reaction, ask yourself, is this serving the frequency I wish to embody? Self-awareness is the light that illuminates the hidden patterns, self-criticism, limiting beliefs, fear of rejection. These are the invisible chains that may be holding you in a version of reality you no longer resonate with, a place where your true potential remains frozen. Only when you observe, understand, and intentionally shift these patterns do you step into your true role, the creator not just of this life, but of every version of reality you choose to align with. On the journey to connect with your higher self across parallel realities, one of the most important skills you can develop is mindful self-observation. That's why increasing your self-awareness is a foundational pillar in the process of energetic transformation and manifesting the life you truly desire. Each day, take just a few quiet moments to pause and ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? What thoughts are dominating my mind? Do these thoughts and emotions resonate with the version of myself I want to become? If the answer is no, that's okay. It's an invitation to make conscious adjustments. Replace negative mental loops with confidence, hope, and gratitude. Every small shift in perspective realigns your vibration. And from that space of alignment, you begin to notice subtle, yet profound signals, as if coming from somewhere deeply familiar, yet mysteriously distant. Perhaps these are whispers from another version of you. These signs don't always come clearly. They may appear as a recurring dream, a strange sense of déjà vu, a coincidence too precise to ignore, a sudden unexplained intuition, a magnetic pull toward a place, a person, or a specific decision. Your first reaction might be doubt or even dismissal, and that's natural. But the key lies in conscious awareness, and more importantly, in trusting your intuition. Begin by affirming that your experience is valid. Don't rush to label a strange dream or an uncanny synchronicity as just a trick of the brain. Instead, write it down, reflect on it, observe the patterns that may emerge over time. On the journey of connecting with your higher self across parallel realities, one of the most essential skills to cultivate is mindful self-observation. This is why self-awareness is the foundation of any true energetic shift and a vital key to manifesting the life you deeply desire. Each day, take just a few moments to pause and ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Which thoughts are dominating my mind? Do these thoughts and emotions align with the version of myself I wish to become? If the answer is no, don't worry, that's an opportunity to make a conscious adjustment. Replace limiting thoughts with confidence. Swap fear for hope. Let gratitude take the place of doubt. Every small adjustment shifts your vibration, and through this shift, you begin to notice subtle, yet profound signals, as if coming from a place both familiar and mysterious. These could be whispers from a parallel version of you. The signs may not always be easy to interpret. They might arrive as a recurring dream, a strange sense of déjà vu, a coincidence too precise to be random, a sudden unexplained intuition, a magnetic pull toward a person, place, or decision. Your initial reaction may be skepticism or even dismissal, and that's completely natural. But the key lies in practicing intentional awareness and, most importantly, in trusting your intuition. Begin by validating your own experience. Don't be too quick to write off a vivid dream or an eerie coincidence as a trick of the mind. Instead, write them down. Reflect on them. Pay attention to the patterns that may begin to form over time. When you enter deeper states of consciousness, especially during meditation, you open a space where messages and signs can be felt more clearly. In that stillness, intuition becomes your compass, a silent guide helping you reach the hidden layers of meaning behind your experiences. The message you receive may not be crystal clear right away. It could be a fleeting image, a nameless feeling, or a quiet inner whisper. But trust the voice within. If something resonates deeply, if it makes your heart race just a little faster, chances are it holds your truth. Intuition doesn't speak in logic, it speaks in the frequency of your soul. Once you've recognized and interpreted the message, the next essential step is to integrate it into your lived reality. This is the phase where you begin to shift from knowing to becoming. Integration doesn't have to be immediate. Sometimes, simply acknowledging what needs to shift is enough to begin. Through small steps, through intentional actions, you start reshaping your current reality to align more closely with the one your higher self is already living. The key is to remain open and flexible. Messages don't always arrive as clear commands. Often they come as gentle suggestions, soft encouragements from a version of you who has already moved through the fear, taken the leap, and is now living in fulfillment. For example, if you feel a strong inner pull to change your career, even if it scares you, that could be a signal from another version of you who's already walked that path and is now sending you a message of encouragement. It's not just imagination, it's the energy of alignment. Or, if you feel drawn to a new skill or passion you've never explored before, it could be the resonance of a parallel self who is fully living that gift. And when you start to explore it, when you learn, experiment, and immerse yourself in that activity, you're not just expanding your capabilities, you're forming a deeper connection with yourself across dimensions. Through intentional meditation, by listening to your intuition, recognizing signs, and journaling what arises, you're building a bridge between your current reality and the highest version of you in parallel timelines. And when you act on those messages, you are no longer just observing your reality, you are creating it. The importance of integrating messages from your parallel selves doesn't lie in mystery or metaphysics. It lies in how those messages can lead you to a life that is more authentic, more aligned with your soul's true essence. Every small adjustment you make, every decision based on deeper knowing, becomes a step toward the ideal version of yourself that has always existed, simply waiting for you to connect and embody it. This process, this alignment with your parallel selves and the integration of their messages into everyday life is in truth a profound journey of personal and spiritual evolution. It is a path where every new insight, every shift in behavior, every intuitive choice becomes a launchpad, moving you closer to your highest self. This vibrational alignment doesn't just accelerate your growth, it expands your awareness, dissolving the limits you once believed were unbreakable. You begin to realize this present reality is just one of many, and you have the power to choose the reality you wish to live through the energy you emit and the decisions you make every day. With each conscious step, new doors open, and behind each door lies another layer of your true essence, a deeper, wiser, more harmonious version of you in alignment with your soul and the universe. When you align with your parallel selves, you're not just being guided toward a more fulfilling life, you're reconnecting with the unified energy field of the cosmos, the space where all versions of you exist in harmony, in unity. And in this integration, you're not just shaping the life you live. You are evolving, you are unlocking the infinite doorway to expansion, transformation, and soul-level fulfillment. So every sign you receive, every message you interpret, and every conscious decision you make is a powerful catalyst for a life that is not just successful, but one that authentically reflects who you are across all dimensions of being. Thank you for walking this path with me. If this video or podcast awakens something within you, I sincerely invite you to like this content as a sign of resonance and subscribe so we can continue journeying together through future explorations. Feel free to share this with someone you believe would be inspired by its message, because light is meant to be shared. And I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below with your thoughts, insights, or personal intuitive experiences. I read and cherish every word. Once again, thank you for being here, for listening, and for committing to this journey of awakening and reconnection with your true self. Take gentle care of your energy, and I'll see you again on the next step of this incredible journey.